You're gonna let it run, okay? To hit record. What's up, guys? A collection of tree industry videos showing real footage from the field. These are trained professionals. Do not try this at home. Boom! That's gonna be awesome. So, hey Tom, we're pulling up to the job site and we are identifying all hazards. Once we get all the chips in the trailer, we'll take a chip run. But we're taking out that dead guy back there. And then he has two little brothers that we're gonna take a firm look at. How does he look to you?
Good darn. How many pine trees?
3 of them. Hey guys, I'm Steve Cabrera. I am an aspiring arborist. In fact, I've recently sat for my exam and I passed with a successful score, so I'm waiting on my certificate and all that stuff to come in. I hope you guys enjoy this video. There's going to be some stuff coming up in here that you might find useful. Working around some power lines. These are some dead trees. Edwin, go ahead and walk us through what all the job site hazards are. All right, hold on, pause. You got a trip hazard right there, Con. All right, got an AC unit, couple windows.
Dollhouse shed.
Okay, we got a dollhouse back here we got to protect. Got high voltage lines back here, so whenever we get to this dead top here, we're gonna tag line it, and you and Mark are going to just kind of hustle up and get it to drop right here with my tag line. I really focused on that bigger pine tree, and more importantly, I was focusing on the adjacent pines around there and all the rigging opportunities we had. So I basically looked at the 2 smaller pine trees as items that would go easily with the rigging that was already set up on the big one, so I didn't pay them as much mind. That small one in the corner had that upright top that's kind of leaning back toward the wires a little bit. Didn't really mentally prepare for that one, so I had to kind of improvise as I got to the job site and discovered it. So you'll kind of hear the concern in my voice a little bit on some of this stuff. But I come up with a plan. It's a pretty good one, I think. We put a tagline around it and just basically held that thing in place. But that's what we'll do for that dead top. So we got high voltage power lines back there that we've got to be mindful of. So all of our rigging will have to be with that in mind. Yeah, that crepe myrtle over there is coming out. Hasn't been dead very long. The main buttress root back in the back seems to be intact, no rot. All looks good here. Did you double check your leg loops? Did you do a gear inspection?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Alright, so Edwin ran me a basil tie up there with a redirect so I can come down right over the top of all these 3. We're gonna basil tie back here with the red scandier. So boom, got that basil tie. He's also got that poison ivy right here as another primary line to go up there and get that gear when we're done. Cone, you ready to go? Got all the trip hazards out the way? Got all of our gear lined up that we're gonna need to take up. Cool. All right, hold it. That's enough tension. I'm gonna go ahead and make my cut. This is gonna be a practice run with the GRCS. I'm basil tied with my red skin deer well out of the drop zone. We got my black line as my primary rigging underneath my primary climbing. Hey, what do you think about swing on that one? Any potential swing, or is everything just gonna float? You recommend bud tying or not?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
All right, pass me green rope and the X-rings, please. Hold it. Hey, let me know if I get close to them high voltage. Alright, I need a guy on the butt wrap, butt tie, and the GRCS is fine, you can leave that idle. So I got a guy on the butt, cutting. Release your butt and go help comb. That's all DR now. A little bit past the halfway point, I ran up on this woodpecker hole, that central leader. So it was a pretty good sized hole. And what concerned me was the sponginess or the corkiness of the wood around it. So I told myself this is a perforated point that could snap or break with decayed wood and whatnot. So if I climb past here, I'm basically asking for trouble. We decided to throw up a tag line as high as possible just to maintain it in its position. What I intend to do is lay this over into those adjacent pines and just kind of let it cushion there or get hung up there and roll off, if you will. We do have a tag line on it, and for extra security I'm going to go ahead and put a butt line on it. Go ahead and secure that butt and put a rigging line around the butt of this branch just to keep it from free falling rapidly. Also, stay tuned. Up ahead we've got some really cool stuff coming up. When we get into the big wood, we're going to do some tip tying and butt tying and knock some pretty big pieces into the air. So y'all stay tuned, alright? Alright, take that rope in between them two branches out there toward the patio. Alright, yeah, just pass it up to me. Alright, so there's my face cut here. Got a tag line halfway up. These guys are going to pull it over into that hole. And my butt line here is going to catch the butt so that it doesn't just free fall. Alright, go ahead and wrap up my black line on the GRCS and just lock it off. Just coil it up like you're going to run it or crank it, but just leave it locked off. And then you can step away from it. Alright, you two are going to pull on it and keep pulling. Don't ever let off of it. Once we got it to where the branch stays still, then I'm going to have one of you come over to the GRCS and start lowering. Does that sound good? Alright, both of y'all just keep on pulling. let me get one of you on the GRCS. Pull tight, Cole. Keep it tight. Edwin on the GRCS. Go ahead and let it free fall kind of quick, okay? That way it picks up some speed and momentum. All right, it's broke free now. Release it some more. Keep yanking on her, Colin. It's barely hanging by a tip. All right, here you go. There you go. Good job on the GRCS, Edwin. This type of work should only be done by certified professionals. Anything that's over high voltage, anything that's in the realms or within 10 feet of the power line should be done by the power line company. And also, the tools that you're using, they've got to be wood tools or fiberglass tools or tools that aren't wet. And here's my experience with power lines. It depends on what kind of tree you're working on. It depends on how much aerial space clearance you have. Way to wrestle it. Oh, by the way, check out that fence around the dollhouse. We didn't manage it. It was already
job,
like
gentlemen.
that. But we took extra precautions not to damage
Thank
it.
you.
All right, pull tight on black. And quarter wrap my yellow. Maybe just one wrap, half a wrap. You guys ready? Cutting. Ready, Colin? Everybody ready? Gladiators ready? Alright, so I got my basically a 4-step or a box cut into the side here, way up into the bottom, and then I came out my other side right here. So I'm going to top cut it now. Got my tip tie up there, tighten up on the GRCS. Then I'm going to run this here butt tie, and Cone's going to handle it with the daggone quarter wrap. Yeah, give me 1200. Alright. Here you go, Edwin. Hey, Colin, go ahead and quarter wrap your side. Yellow line. I mean green. Here you go, Edwin. Alright guys, so I'm making sure that my butt tie doesn't interfere with my climbing line in case I need to get rescued. Also, my lanyard, it's got to be right above the rigging hardware so it doesn't pinch down on my lanyard. Alright, so my lanyard's free, tie-in's free, got 1,200 pounds pressure on my log, got a 3-step cut about to go in with number 4, got that one recorded, got Mark with the porter wrap ready to go. Alright, cutting. Yep, that's what that is. Nice. Outstanding. get about 1,500 pounds pressure up here. Good on the 40. Cutting. Slow down. Limb coming down. Hell yeah. Here you go, here you go. You can go ahead and cut it and both y'all let down on it. Big chunks, huh? We need to put fuel in our tanks. We have to eat, or we cannot be athletic. We cannot perform at our full potential. So we take lunch breaks. I know that's unheard of for a lot of tree companies, especially here in Texas. We still have to squeeze it in. We have to allow time. We have to come to a stop. We must break. Yep. No pull, but it looked like it could have had a pull. It was one of those nice ones. Find you a plug and the charger's in there. Yeah. So the weather's nice. We'll go ahead and go through the drive-through. We'll eat outside and then we'll get back to it. I'm gonna go knock down those 2 sticks that are left on them small trees. Basically just work on my hinge wood, practice. While I was up there, I noticed a lot of stuff I didn't like. The pine trees are dead, so the wood acts a little bit different. It cuts different. One of my biggest concerns is the way the hinge wood will hold on a dead tree, so I'm going to experiment a little bit with that, see what I can and can't get away with following these stems here. Alright, here we go. This is what we're looking at. We go up there and redirect my climb line. Let's start taking them boards down piece by piece. Piece by piece. This all look good to you, Edwin? Alright, I'm going in with my face cut, which is my bottom cut. Then I'm going to go in with my top cut. How many wraps are you going to use? Let's go ahead and use only one, because I don't want it to run too slow. I need it to run fast. This work is going to be dependent on those pieces flying or running past the power line before they're able to wiggle around in the air. So we're going to keep as much control on them as possible. Okay, just use one wrap. was good. Same thing, one wrap or half a wrap. I've already laced up my team. The ground guys knew exactly what to do, what to expect. We're going to let it run 10, 15 feet. That'll work. Go. Attaboy. Good job. All right, let it run. Live trees have water in them and therefore conduct electricity. I've touched power lines with dead trees. There you go. Perfect. All right, you ready on the rope? Throwing. I'm coming down. Beautiful. All right, so on this last little, down to the last few remaining pieces. This one here I'm going to tip tie, butt tie, right off of there.
All good.
Guys are passing up to 460 now. We're into the big meat. So I got the head right here. Got it wrapped off on the GRCS. Again, 1,500 pounds pressure. I'm gonna do my butt tie out here. Wrap that off. First, I'm gonna go with my face cut. Hand me green. Oh. That head right there where the two codormant leaves come together and form that head at the top of the trunk. Usually that's the biggest piece of wood. Usually that's the hardest piece of wood because it's not wood, it's union wood, and it's the fattest part of the tree. So a lot of times that big top part will be bigger and badder than some of the bottom trunks. Anyway, we got the head off of that bad boy. By this time we're tired. I've done a lot of negative rigging, a lot of drifting, a lot of chainsaw lifting, a lot of rope tying, a lot of rope pulling and maneuvering and carabiner twisting and spur yanking and spur jabbing and all kinds of stuff. It's roughly 3 o'clock, 3:30. So I know it's about closing time, and of course we're not at completion yet, which is okay. That's fine. It's great. It's good. We always got to take our time. We always got to maintain a safe pace, and live to fight another day if you don't finish. When I'm trying to lay that thing over, if my hinge breaks early, it could come into the house. What I want it to do is lay all the way over, past the house, lay all the way over. But if I do it wrong and my hinge breaks down here, it could start tipping over like this here and then break off, and the weight just knock it right into that house. So I got my notch placed perfectly where it's going to sit right on top of this fat log that I've got the smash cam on top of this fat log right here. Well, it doesn't go as planned because I put my notch in there. In the back side of that cut, I didn't really like the way the cut lined up on that back side. Now, keep in mind that back side is where my hinge is going to be the most important, because that's the holding wood keeping that thing up off of the house on that back side of that hinge. So since I didn't like the way the back side of my cut lined up, I did not attempt this cut. I thought maybe I could still pull it off, but the risk is too high. The house is right there. If it breaks early, if it fails, we're screwed. So if this happens to you, you can always move your notch. You can move your face cut up or down a couple of feet. You've got to go as far up or down as possible, because you have fibers inside of that wood that run up and down and then hold that thing together. So if you get too close to your first face cut, you could still pull that wood out of your first face cut, if that makes sense. So get it down low enough or high enough if you're going to redo it or do it over. But I always strongly recommend redoing your notch if it didn't line up right the first time. If there's anything you don't like about your notch, don't risk the biscuit. Start over clean, start over fresh. There's another way to do it. Even if I had to climb up this thing and negative rig it all the way down from the top, I would have done it if I had to. I'm not going to risk sending this log into the house. So I go down a couple of feet, down to the bottom of the trunk. This time I point my notch a little bit closer to the fence, meaning that it's gonna swing over closer to that fence and even further away from the house. Now, the reason I'm doing this is so that I'm anticipating a break now. Since I got a face cut on the top now, I'm anticipating my structural integrity of that wood to be low. So I'm anticipating an early break. So I'm going to point my notch closer to the fence, get a little bit more of a swing away from the house before that thing finally breaks over and onto that fat log right there. That's the plan. I'm planning for it to swing over just enough to break off early and land onto that fat log with my smash cam on it. But it doesn't turn out that way. It ends up holding true the whole way down, and I end up having to move my landing bed over. Watch, you'll see here in a second. Cone, you did a good job today, man. I'm really proud of the way you let it run. We're gonna play back the film. We're gonna look at this, and we're gonna see how you ran them ropes. All right, so it was like 4:30 when we were getting out of there. I laid that stem over, and 5 o'clock crept on us, got all the tools gathered up. We got out of there and came back to fight another day. Better safe than sorry. I don't really like pushing it until sundown and all that crap. It's better just to start with a brand new, fresh day. So here we go. Most tree work around power lines can be done in a safe way. Always, if you don't have a solution, if you can't think of one, if you don't feel comfortable, don't feel safe, don't attempt it, don't try it. Know when to fight and when to walk away.
Walk away. Walk away.